All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Millennial Trade. So we did the market recap already, and I promised in that video that I would focus a video on this Newsweek article that I found. All right, the title of the article is "The GOP is winning its war against higher education. We all lose as a result," and it's an opinion piece. Let's read a little bit of this. Basically, it's about how the state is not providing enough money for state schools and for universities. They claim that and this may be true, since the early 2000s, less and less money from the state has been devoted to, helping out these universities, and therefore the universities' tuition prices obviously go up. I think that's a little simplified, and it's kind of a simplified answer to things, but here, I'm going to read this. This is the third paragraph in, all right? A favorite line of attack against universities in Republican circles is the cost of tuition. While Republicans are right that college is now seen as unattainably expensive for most middle-class Americans, which is true. It's not that, that is true. And they admit that that's right. They say, while Republicans are right that college is now seen as unattainably expensive for most middle-class Americans, this isn't a consequence of colleges building ornate dorm rooms, lazy rivers, or splurging on administrator or professor salaries. However, the reality is that tuition hikes are largely a necessary result of an ever-decreasing level of state support to universities. Now, I don't even want to start making the argument that the state shouldn't support the universities, but here's the thing. We've got billions, $50 billion going to Ukraine and sending missiles and machinery and technology that's going to kill people. We're spending all of that money over there on that. Well, you could have spent that $50 billion on the universities. So I'm not sure what they're trying to get at here. They say before CV hit, state funding nationwide for higher education was roughly 9% below what it enjoyed prior to the Great Recession, I suppose prior to 2008, and a full 18% below where it was before the 2001 tech bubble, and when that blew a hole in the economy. When the well of government money dries up, and this is a very interesting line. They say when the well of government money dries up, universities have little choice but to pass the cost on to their students in the form of tuition hikes. And this is the point. Government money always dries up. At a certain point, you start running out of people to tax. You have so many programs, so much welfare, so much Social Security, so much military, so much technology, all this stuff that the government is funding. Eventually, you just sort of tap out. You start running out of people that you can tax. They say, of course, universities must tighten their belts when they can, particularly when it can come to salary costs. I'm sure there's a lot of overpaid Marxist indoctrinators here. And this is where they start arguing against the fact that, the university system is sort of a propaganda machine to indoctrinate students. They sort of deny this. This tends to be my opinion. Of course, I went to community college, and this was many, many years ago. But I've lived in a very academic family, and I've had conversations with them. I can tell there is definitely there's an agenda, and it's coming from the administrators. Right? I don't want to get into all this right now, but it's coming from the administration of the school system. They talk about academic freedom in higher education is also under sustained attack by Republicans, particularly when it relates to discussing anything to do with RACE. In Florida, the state is currently embroiled in a lawsuit where it is arguing that public university professors do not have freedom of speech when they are teaching. The reason for the state's assault is none other than to service the Republican crusade against CRT. And they claim that CRT is not being taught in colleges, which it is. They talk about some bills that Republicans are trying to basically force through. They say the logic behind these bills seems to be rooted in the unfounded belief that university professors are indoctrinating their students. The unfounded. Listen to how they phrase this, right? Some of us, we have our beliefs, but this is what they want you to believe. The logic behind these bills seems to be rooted in the unfounded belief that the university professors are indoctrinating their students. And again, it's not the university professors, it's the administration, it's the, from the top down, the curriculum. All right, we can't just blame the university professors, but they, if they're educated in this system, they work in this system, and they're being pressured from, their higher ups. This is sort of the structure, right? This is how they're doing it. They set the standards. The administrative agencies sort of set the standards for curriculum. They push this idea, because my brother hears this a lot, not only from other students, but from professors. When he starts bringing up a topic, either the professor or sometimes the student will say, proceed with caution. And that basically means, in my opinion, you American, shut up. Your opinion is privileged. We don't want to hear from you. That's essentially what it means. The final field of battle in their war against higher education has Republicans taking aim against the central pillar of academic freedom. Tenure. Tenure is a core component of academic freedom in that it allows a professor the ability to bring truth to power, right? But it also allows the professor to promote their own agenda or promote an agenda that may not be, that really may not be appropriate in a classroom setting. And I think this is really happening in America, all across the West. I think they're not really teaching. They're sort of telling you what is right, what is wrong. And like even these philosophy classes these days, I'm not even sure if Plato or Aristotle are really focused on in philosophy. I think a lot of the philosophy is more like CRT and a lot of this, newer stuff that's come out. Tenure is a core component of academic freedom. It is little wonder that the Republicans would loathe it so much, as it allows professors at public universities the ability to criticize the GOP for its authoritarian ideology without fear of losing their job as a consequence. And the real authoritarians are, the left, right? In a lot of ways, some of Biden's policies, Biden is trying to just wipe out debt single-handedly, bypassing the Constitution, the free markets, and everything that we know to be good and true. Biden's trying to bypass all of that and just wipe away billions, maybe trillions of dollars of student loan debt. So, who are really the authoritarians here? Biden wants me to pay for all of the college education. He wants me to pay for the gender studies, the LGBT studies, the women's studies. I'm supposed to pay for all these degrees that provide absolutely no service or manufacturing capacity for the American economy. The taxpayers are supposed to pay for that. Thanks to the public universities, it goes on to say, we've grown our nation's soft power by educating a host of world leaders consistently on the receiving side of a global brain drain. And they claim that, and in a lot of ways that may be true, but you're also bringing in other ideologies, political ideologies, religious ideologies that may not be compatible with the United States' format. Let's just call it that. So they say we're benefiting from an incalculable number of scientific advancements and so much more. And sure, that's true. And like Elon Musk says, technology just does not automatically get better. A lot of people have to be working on it to make it better. And it seems that we do that in America to some extent. Kind of weird that we could fly to the moon back in the 60s and we haven't really done it since. To me, that's kind of odd. It's like, well, maybe they're just not working on that technology seriously. But I think Elon Musk wants to change that once he figures out what he's going to do with Twitter. So all of these strengths will dissipate as the strengths of receiving the global brain drain, which is like, is America worthy to just brain drain the rest of the world? Don't other nations need brains too? You got to ask these kind of questions as well. It's like, philosophically speaking, is it automatically good that America is draining the world of all of their brain power? So that benefit and the scientific advancements from that, they say that these strengths will dissipate as Republicans keep winning their war on higher education, which is why we all lose if they aren't stopped soon. And again, I'm not saying the state should not provide more support. Apparently, in the early 2000s, the 90s, the state provided much more support for the university system, and this is why college tuitions were more affordable back then. Okay, if that's all true, I mean, I understand the importance of using some tax dollars to, help go towards education in America, but we're sending $50 billion to that shithole Eastern European country that we don't have a lot of interest in. Europe has plenty of interest in, sure, and I guess we're trying to help them. But we're spending so much money sending, missiles, and I guess trying to provoke nuclear war with Russia. I mean, they're sending Patriot missiles so that Zelensky can fire these things deep into Moscow. Where do you think this is going to end? I just, all the billions of dollars that have been wasted. Well, I won't get into it, but that was the money that could have supported the university system, was it not? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Follow me on Instagram at Millennial Trades. And as always, until next time, I'll see you on the next video.